Okay, go ahead.
Okay, there's the 3 10-turn nail knots that I put on there. You can see the glue's starting to already dry on the first 2. The last one's still a little darker there because of the termination. Now that will not pull off. I'm going to take you down to the other end of the line, and this would either be your leader end or your backer end, whatever you wanted to do. And leave a little bit of line here on the hollow core, and the reason for that is you're going to put a piece of mono or whatever 19 strand wire, if that's what you're using, and do just a Willis knot in the end and a drop of the tack glue on the Willis knot after you're done. Everybody knows pretty much how to do it. It's a standard lead core knot that everybody uses. Just slide it up in here and make the knot, pull it tight, drop of glue. Then next year, if you're putting leader on there, next year you can just cut that little bit off. That's why I like to leave a little bit here.
About 2-3 feet?
About 2-3 feet. So you don't have to keep redoing this Chinese finger lock, because it does take a little time. But doing it this way, you can change your leader and just cut that little bit off.
Right.
And we'll go over what the materials here that we actually used. That's just a piece of leader I had laying around. First of all is a torch to anneal the end of the wire. That seems to make it a little easier to work with right at the very end. Just a regular old butane torch, you know. Power Pro, Hollow Ace. This is 80 pounds, seems to work real well with the 45-pound weighted steel. If you look at the diameters for both, I did a lot of looking up on the diameters, and that seems to match very well. On top of the spool here, you'll see a little piece of coffee stir stick. That's all it is to make the nail knot. That length right there seems to work good for me. This is just a little nail file to soften the edges of the weighted steel. If you're going to use leader or anything else, I suggest that you take the sharp edge of the leader off. And you have the tack glue here to glue the knots, and you can use other glues, but that's what I found works the best for me. This is just a couple pieces of old broom handle I had laying around, and some Scotch rubber electrician's tape, and then of course the Daho needle. And the number 38 is a 38 thousandths needle. You can buy a whole different bunch of sizes on. You have to look these up on the internet, but you can see there how it's spelled, and it's basically just a hollow core needle. And they've been using them for years to go deep sea fishing. And you know, it's nothing new to those guys. And this also would work for Dacron if you was going to put the weighted steel with a Dacron backer, you know, a hollow core. Mm-hmm. That's about it. It's just a super smooth termination. Goes through the guides like butter. Doesn't hang up in your reel. The tack glue, the reason I like it, you can see there how flexible it is. It'll go right around your finger, so you can figure out how that's going to go around a reel.
Yeah.
So it's a flexible glue, and it's really tight.
Now, have you caught any fish with this?
I have. I've caught the biggest fish so far I've caught with 28 pound 9 ounces. I've caught 3 other larger fish, or one other fish that's a little bit smaller, and I caught one other fish that was a little larger, but I didn't get it in the boat. It had nothing to do with the steel. It was it got right to the back of the boat, and it actually broke the hooks. So it was a huge fish. Don't know how big it was. You know, the big one always gets away.
And that's the 2016 Spring Kings, which are really
It
good.
is. Yeah, and they was really lively, let me tell you.
Yeah. And that knot was great.
Yeah, the harder you pull it, the tighter it gets. I haven't had any problem. I hope nobody else does, but I don't think you will. It's not a new technology, it's just a different twist.
If they use it for the big saltwater fish, then our salmon shouldn't be a problem.
No, they use this similar procedure to make wind-on leaders, so they can wind them right into the reel, and that's why I did it. I like it to come smooth into my reel.
That's great.
But the weighted steel is so nice to fish with that it was worth the research to come up with the procedure.
That was a great job, and I think all the salmon fishermen on the Great Lakes and in the ocean will thank you for this.